everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. This is your 2022 June energy forecast for the twin flame soul connections out there. So it will not be for everyone watching, but if it is your story, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And if not, you can always check my channel for other messages you need to hear. Just remember that time, energy, and gender are fluid, so you can reverse roles however they apply to your story. And as always, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and tap the notification bell so you can catch future readings. So to my lovely subscribers and twin flamesy poos, thank you so much for your love and support of the channel. Thank you to those of you who have made donations or purchased private readings. If you are a new subscriber and you would like to purchase a private reading, as always, all of my links, details, information is down in the description box below, including my website, payment app links, and all of the good stuff. So before we get into the reading though, I just want to say that, as always, the purpose of the twin flame journey is your spiritual journey. It's your ascension. It is your spiritual growth. So regardless of whether you are in a union in the physical with your person or not, the concept is that you are already whole and complete with or without this physical meat suit standing at your side. So remember, the concept of separation is merely an illusion, as twin flames are the same soul, and you cannot be separate from that which you are. So whatever stage of the journey that you're on, please remember that the roles can reverse many times. So as I lay out the energy of divine feminine and divine masculine, some of you might resonate more with the masculine, and again, most of you might resonate with the feminine, but either way, it's totally okay. Sometimes it's okay to just watch these readings for your own inner masculine energy. So however it applies to you, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. And as always, you guys, please like the video, comment below if it is for you. So before I actually start shuffling and pulling cards, the pre-shuffle energy that popped out for me as I was getting set up for this reading just kind of made me chuckle, because first of all, these two cards popped up together. They were stuck together. And we have a change and dynamic, which obviously is a change in dynamic. So the frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new, with this frequency of dynamic supporting our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. So the reason I wanted to talk about these cards is because as I was pre-shuffling, I was thinking to myself, like, damn, when is Mercury retrograde going to end? I'm tired of this shit. And these two cards popped out. So clearly Spirit is saying that very soon there is going to be a great change in dynamic as we switch out of this retrograde energy and straight into Saturn retrograde. So with Saturn retrograde, there's going to be a lot of focus on responsibility. Okay, Saturn is the Lord of karma. And so this message here of parallax, I am moving in a different direction. So regardless of divine masculine, divine feminine, in general as a collective, this is very relevant energy. Okay, lots of changes in dynamic have been happening, especially based on the eclipses and the retrograde that we've been scraping by in. Okay. So I think it's also very interesting too. If you haven't seen my new moon reading, I urge you to check it out. For those of you who have been following the Johnny Depp defamation trial, my prediction was that he was going to win his case, and he did. And it was so exciting because no matter what garbage was coming from the other side, the truth still remains, and everyone could see it, right? So if anything, the one who had mountains of evidence proving their case was Johnny. So I feel as if the dynamic is shifting in the collective, because instead of the whole claim that, oh, it's going to be a setback on women, I don't think so. I feel like Johnny winning this case is a major step up for us as a society in accepting that men experience abuse just as much as women. So if anything, Johnny, I commend him for his courage, because there are so many men out there who are afraid to speak up for whatever reasons. But I think a lot of it has to do with these social constructs that we talk about, men needing to be manly and all of these things. How bad would it look for me to say that I was abused by a woman? Well, I mean, when you see the display in front of America, in front of the world, as to how these dynamics actually play out behind closed doors, the ugly face of narcissistic abuse rears its head, and it becomes impossible to ignore. So, and I think that that's a tactic that a lot of narcs rely on, is the ability to confuse and discredit and even like Amber said in the video, like, who's gonna believe you? Like, what do you mean? Who's going to believe the truth? Who's going to believe the evidence? Are you so confident in thinking that you can just erase everything that's happened and paste a new narrative over what's actually facts? And unfortunately, in a lot of these situations of covert narcissistic abuse, the worst thing you could try to do is to unmask your abuser. It just makes it worse. So the fact that he courageously stood up against this dynamic in itself speaks volumes to the collective. It sends a huge message that it's okay. It's okay to speak up. It's okay to admit that you, a man, have been abused. I mean, it just shakes me to my core, honestly, thinking about it, because it's just really sad is what it is. And I also posted something about this on my Instagram, where Judge Judy was talking about, if you're a woman, you should always have a plan. You should always have a career or something to kind of back you up so that you can support yourself, because there are these controlling sort of domestic dynamics where, people become trapped in these situations because they set themselves up for failure. They don't prepare themselves financially. They don't have a backup. They don't have a savings. And, even something as small as controlling finances could be enough to make someone feel trapped, claustrophobic, feel like they can't, make their own decisions or have their own happiness unless it's a stipulation of the other person's happiness, in which case the victims tend to become an extension of the abuser, which is why these divine masculines oftentimes exhibit these narcissistic traits. It's because this is how they're conditioned. So again, going back to the new moon reading with the image of the fool curled up in the fetal position, it's that sort of energy. I mean, some of these masculines have Stockholm syndrome. Like, it's really sad. So ultimately, again, going off on kind of a little bit of a tangent here, we're almost at 10 minutes, but hopefully you guys are resonating with what I'm saying. And for those of you who have been supporting Johnny behind the scenes like I have been, I'm sure that you are also just as elated and relieved, even though I'm sure Amber's team will try to appeal and all these other things. It's just, verdict's already in. Like, America, the world has already seen the display. Like, no matter what you try to appeal for, I mean, and I could just see, like, at this point, first of all, Amber Heard ain't got no 15 million I'm just saying, she doesn't have that kind of money to pay. It's not like she can just dish out 15 million like, oh, it's no problem. And I can see Johnny being gracious and saying, I don't even want the money. Just the fact that the jury unanimously decided that, like I said, he won all across the board, and more damages than Amber Heard. And I guess the only thing that kind of bothered me was the fact that they gave her the count of defamation based on Walden's statement, which you can go back and forth on that all day. But as Camille Vasquez said in her closing argument, the only thing that Waldman stated was that he believed that Amber had committed perjury, which everyone could see she committed perjury at least 10 times on the stand. So the fact of the matter of saying that his statement was defamation, well, it really isn't, because he wasn't lying. Based on the evidence, it kind of seems like Amber Heard made all that up. So in a sense, Adam Waldman making that statement and reporting her to the police for perjury, it's facts. I mean, they couldn't prove that it was with malice. I mean, he genuinely believed, like 4.5 million people believe, plus, that it was a facade, it was a hoax, it was an elaborate plan to make Johnny look bad, to destroy his character. So at least my faith in the justice system hasn't been completely obliterated at this point. Obviously, you know, the jury, even though only 7 out of billions of people in the world, they represented the majority in this case. And I would have to say that I feel that that was pretty accurate. So anyways, I'm done talking about the case. And now we can all look forward to the next sensationalized, televised celebrity craziness, which I believe, if you guys are interested in law and crime and that sort of thing, then I do know that there's that case with Marilyn Manson versus Evan Rachel Wood. Basically, same thing. Same thing. And Brian is good friends with Johnny, and turns out Evan and I believe Amber, I read something about them also being friends. So it just kind of makes sense. And look at that, giving other men courage to pipe up, say what they gotta say, and tell the world the truth. Like that's what it's all about. And you know, I think that it says something really great about his character, that he didn't care that his whole life was going to be basically front and center, dragged through the mud, like all his dirty laundry out to air. He didn't care. Having himself exonerated from that title of wife beater was the most important thing to him. And I wish I could hug the man, honestly. It's actually really emotional just seeing like the amount of like kindness and graciousness that he shows his fans. Like, dude never gets sick of his fans. You could just tell. It's genuine. It's all over his face. So yeah, anyone who is friends with him in real life is lucky, because he is, you can tell he's a genuine dude. And to me, that is straight up divine masculine energy in its finest. Okay, so hopefully this message coming out is relevant, and hopefully this is a shift and change in the overall dynamic of the divine masculine, but not just that, but a shift in the dynamic of the divine feminine, right? I feel a lot of divine feminines finally just hanging up their hats and just living in that que sera, sera energy, because for a lot of you guys, it's been a long time. For a lot of you guys, it's been a very long separation. There's been a lot of confusing things probably that have happened over the last couple of months with this crazy energy. And yeah, let's hope for some good positive changes. Let's get some shuffles in. And we're going to pull a card for the feminine. Magic. So the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. So feminine is creating magic in the month of June, really opening up the doors to even greater possibilities than was thought to be possible before. So when I see this, I automatically think the Magician, Queen of Wands energy. And for the masculine, we have the third eye chakra. So lots of purple energy happening here. And it says the frequency of the third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination, and our psychic powers. So now we have the energy of the high priestess. So now the divine masculine is going to be going through an awakening, okay? They're starting to listen to their intuition. And for some of them, that could be listening to you, right? A lot of you have these telepathic communications with your divine masculine, and it can feel kind of crazy, right? Like you're really having a conversation with yourself in your head. And it's just incredible, because I think this is happening for the masculine. They're hearing that dialogue. They're reaching out themselves. They're intuitively discovering that the connection is online once again. So there's awakening happening for the masculine. They're starting to understand more about what they know to be true moving forward. Psychic abilities, psychic gifts. Like I said, the masculines seem to be coming online in June. So now that I'm thinking about that, it makes me think of like back in the day when we used to dial up for internet, and you'd be like sitting there on your AIM and like waiting for your boo to come online. Some of you know what I'm talking about, probably all of you. But bottom of the deck is perception. So the frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it. So remember, perception is reality. You will never, ever, 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 ever experience life through anyone else's perception. So I feel as if, again, Spirit is saying that there's a meeting of minds here, or getting on the same page. So as I was saying, some of you feminines are hanging up your hat, or just like in that whatever will be type of an energy, where a lot of times that's exactly what it takes in order for things to change, in order for a new dynamic to take place. Because when we're so focused, when we are trying to manifest our twin flame, or we're focused on this person, it's really, it just causes them to run, is what it does. Anytime we put our focus on the physical person, it sends out that energy that basically pushes them away in a sense. Once you get back to that focus on you, which, like we were saying, creating magic, looking beyond what we thought was possible and opening the door for something even better. So allowing the universe to do its thing, basically, right? Because yes, we can manifest, but think about how magical the universe is, how intricate, how unique, how delicate. It is magic. And so part of manifestation is allowing the universe to take the wheel and do its magic, because You can't shift everything. You can't make everything change or happen just with your own willpower. The universe is always conspiring in our favor. So, very interesting messages to start out the reading. Let's get into the divine masculine energy. I love how I just saw the star at the bottom of the deck, but in the reverse. So for some of these masculines, this could be them coming to the realization that they may have missed an opportunity. They may have been wishing for something, but not making the changes necessary to call it in. What's going on with the masculine's thought process here? So we have the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior. So masculines are thinking about the BS that they've been through, but they know that this is a part of their soul purpose. This is a part of the path that they're on. So ultimately, when I see the Nine of Wands, I think perseverance. Someone who's going to keep on pushing, even though they've been through a lot of turmoil. So ultimately, also we have this wand, and it kind of reminds me of the Queen of Wands. So similar to like the Nine of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles, it's kind of the same vibe here. It's like they're starting to realize that they have the power to keep things moving, to persevere or pursue what they know in their soul is what they want, right? Next, we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So this could also be them acknowledging the ways in which they themselves have been toxic. The Knight of Wands to me in the reverse is someone who basically just takes action for their own pleasure, their own gain, right? But you can also see here, she's dancing around 4 wands. So it's almost as if the masculine is becoming aware that they squandered their opportunity with the feminine by being selfish, by being a player, by, again, running away from commitment or connecting or committing to other people over the feminine. So now they're aware of this, and they know that this could potentially be a hurdle to jump over in order to turn this around. If this is how they're thinking in their mind, this is them sort of accepting accountability for the fact that they put themselves on this path. The struggle that they've been through is because of that dynamic, because of how they showed themselves to the feminine at first. And again, I think that they're worried that everything they've been wishing for is going to be lost because they chose that path in the past, okay? I think that's really what they're focusing on right now. What's going on in their heart space? So we're starting with the wheel. The world. Reminded me of the wheel for a second. So the world. So obviously the world is about learning the lessons in life, completing the fool's journey. Could be about world travel, communication. But ultimately, I feel like this is the masculine's desire to get closure on this situation, to close a chapter perhaps in their own life so that they can have a new beginning. We have the Five of Swords in the reverse. So that also tells me that the masculine is done worrying about any sort of toxic dynamics that they've been attached to in the past. As a matter of fact, you can see this dude's got a headache, and in the background, he's like free. So ultimately, I feel like your masculine has gone through a lot. They've been confused perhaps for a while, or this could also be a card of self-sabotage. And with the Three of Swords in the reverse, it's because they're healing, okay? There was definitely some sort of a third-party drama, some heartbreak, right? And, this could also be the masculine worrying or feeling the feminine, knowing that they're leaving behind any sort of confusion about this situation. They're ready to move on and heal from the heartbreak and the pain and the separation, okay? So how are they actually viewing the feminine at this time? So we have Seven of Wands and a card that flew off, and the Four of Swords. Yeah, so like I said, they see the feminine as healing. They see her as, I mean, you can see we go from this to now she has created a nest. She, it's funny too, because these little things remind me of swords in a sense, but she has sewn her heart back together, okay? So ultimately, the Seven of Wands is also telling me that the masculine is viewing the feminine as protecting her energy, okay? Anyone who tries to come at the feminine, she's like, not today, Cletus, okay? She's in Zen mode. She's got her bubble. She's sitting on her comfy ass pillow, and nothing is capable of breaking that barrier. Seven of Wands is warrior's pose. So they also view the feminine as a fighter, someone who stands up for what they believe in, someone who isn't going to let anyone else attack their character or bring them down, okay? So let's talk about the, oh my gosh, and the Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So, it's this foreshadowing of change, right? It's a new beginning on the horizon, but the page to me is like a messenger. So it's almost like the masculine is viewing the feminine in this energy, and it's making them want to take action. It's making them want to, like Steve says, making them want to throw that arrow or that spear in your back so you don't get away. So how is the masculine planning to move things forward? What actions are the masculines likely to take here in the month of June? Oh my goodness. Choppy. What are the masculine's likely actions in the month of June, please, based on this energy? The Fool. However, it is in the reverse. So this can mean a couple of different things, right? There's this, again, we're on the precipice of change, but it's still going to require your person to utilize their free will and take a risk. Some of your people, okay, some of your meat suits are not ready to take that risk. And for whatever the circumstances, whatever the reasoning, I don't know. I just feel like some of them are afraid. Some of them are scared to make a move. Some of them might feel that way, like I said, based on the way that they treated you in the past. They might feel like taking this risk would be futile based on how they've treated you. I mean, and think about it, like when you heal and when you go through your karma, you learn your lessons, it's like you start to think of things from someone else's perspective. You start to put yourself in that person's shoes and have epiphanies and realizations like, damn, I really did that. I really chose to sleep on the divine feminine. I really chose to break her heart. I really chose to mislead her, to hurt her, to lead her on and make her feel like she isn't worthy, to where now she's putting up her defenses. She's not letting anyone in. She's protecting herself and her family. Like, these are the realizations that are happening. So again, going back to the whole perception concept here, I think that that's what's happening. Each of you are probably starting to imagine or put yourself in the shoes of your person. So again, feminines, it would make sense for those of you who have been backing off, and the masculines out there are starting to feel that Page of Wands energy because they don't want you to get away, but it is going to require them to make the move, to take the risk. It's going to require them to actually have faith in themselves, in the universe, and I don't know that they're at that point yet. Let's get a card of clarity. Likely actions moving forward for the month of June, please. Help us out, Spirit. What do we need to see about the masculine in the month of June? Ace of Cups. So again, like I said, for some of you, this could be your person being afraid to take that risk. But then again, for others of you, this could be them recognizing that the love they have cannot be contained, okay? The Ace of Cups is a brand new beginning in love. It is a romantic offering. It's unconditional. And you can see there's like a heart and this like swirling energy happening, and it reminds me of this card here, magic, okay? So these masculines, okay, again, some of them may not, but the energy is suggesting that the masculine cannot contain their emotions any longer. This is the front and center thing that's happening for them right now. And I think a lot of them are going to start to realize, like, if I want true, authentic love, if I want this to happen, if I want a chance at birthing something new and having union with my divine feminine, that the risk is worth the reward in the end, okay? So for some of you, this could mean your person coming forward and confessing their feelings, okay? Sharing their cup with you, acknowledging that they love you. Or again, for some of you, this could just simply be a heart chakra awakening in the month of June, a realization, a recognition of this love that they have. What is their ultimate desired outcome here? Four of Wands. Yeah, they definitely are wanting union, okay? True union. They want marriage. They want stability. This is your twin flamesy poo card, okay? So ultimately, we already know the masculine wants this. It's, are they going to be capable of actually taking that leap of faith? Everyone's going to be different. What's their challenge here? Oh my gosh. So I love how we have the Empress popping up in the reverse. So their challenge could quite literally be a distorted feminine energy that's still in their life, okay? Their challenge could also be just coming towards you in general. They could be worried, again, that you will turn them away, or that you will have grown cold to their energy by the time they finally come around. This could be them having fears that you will be in this distorted energy and not accept them based on the examples that they've had of other relationships, connections, so on and so forth, right? I mean, you know, think about how hard it would be to fill your own cup if every time you got something in that cup, someone else drained it from you immediately, you know? So if your divine masculine has some sort of a distorted energy in their life still, then that is their challenge. It's to get past this person, or again, this could be their fear of what's become of you based on how they treated you, right? If they see you in the Seven of Wands energy, they could see you as very defensive towards them, like shutting them out, closing them off, and focusing on healing your heart, right? So what is going on behind the scenes that we don't know about for the masculine? Elaborate on that. Yeah, we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So again, going even further based off of what I said here with the Empress in the reverse, the Queen of Wands in the reverse, to me can represent someone who is a manipulator, someone who is controlling, you know, someone who basically just like does whatever they need to do to get what they want, someone very selfish, and also could represent a like infidelity. Maybe there's this feminine character in your masculine's environment that has cheated on them. This could also be saying that right now they're just not ready to manifest. If they're in a period of awakening or maybe discovering their own feminine energy, then, you know, this could be ultimately what blocks them for now, is really needing to awaken and learn how to use their own magic. So as always, we have the masculine just a few steps behind the feminine, and that is what the masculine needs to do, is to make his own magic. Let's get one more clarity card about behind the scenes. Yeah, like I said, they need to make their own magic. Look, we have the strength card landing right on top of the magic card. So your person, they need to gather their strength. They need to find their confidence. They need to summon up all their willpower to be able to move things forward in the direction of which their heart wants to go. And bottom of the deck, we have the King of Wands in the reverse. So again, past energy is insinuating that, you know, your person was not so sure about what they even wanted. Right? This is that that energy of someone who is passionate, sure, charismatic, yeah, but it also carries that energy of a manipulator, which, like I mentioned earlier, if your person is in the clutches of a distorted feminine energy, right? We talk about the abuser and their victim becoming an extension of them, because then they start to exhibit those sort of traits. So if that is your scenario, definitely comment below, because it looks to me like, yeah, maybe this person and that other person or somehow right for each other in that distorted energy, but Spirit is saying it's time for them to come out of that. It's time for them to stand up in their power. Look, we have the lion approaching him from behind, very symbolic. Okay, so again, there's this energy of needing to come out of distortion, and yeah, 8 of Cups underneath that. They need to walk away from something that's not fulfilling. They need to leave some sort of a dynamic. Okay, and there we have the keywords up top again, change and dynamic. All right, so very interesting reading so far. Let's get some cards for the feminine. What do we need to know about the feminine's conscious awareness at this time? This reading's going to be like 700 minutes long. Ace of Materials. Feminine, you know that you are the golden opportunity. You are the prosperous new beginning. You are the seed. So in a sense, you know that you are the magic in this connection. Some of you could also be thinking about investing in something, making some sort of a financial offer or proposal. This could have to do with your career, but ultimately this is your conscious awareness. So this could be about a lot of different things. Ace of Materials, golden opportunity. And again, I feel like the Ace of Materials can represent creation as well, since we talk about the seed. So going back to the energy of creation or magic, feminine, it's almost like you yourself are on the precipice of something new, and you are planting seeds yourself. So the Knight of Wands also popping up in the reverse, had to flip it over, but we just talked about this, right? The Knight of Wands in the reverse, someone who is passionate, right? Maybe afraid of commitment, or, you know, again, 86 commitment altogether. This could be simply saying that right now, you know, your desire is to just follow your passion. Feminines, I feel like I don't think that this is an effort to mislead anyone. I think this is an effort to be selfish based on your own passions and what you want to do with your life. This is you running wild and free and taking the wheel in a new direction, right? Making magic based on what's good for you, not worrying about anyone else. What's going on in your heart space? Queen of Materials. I feel ultimately, feminines, that you are focused on yourself, okay? And I say that because Queen of Materials coming up in the reverse, again, we're talking about kind of a selfish energy, someone who is very money-minded. So you could be very focused on your finances right now, or overly focused, But in your heart, I think that your desire ultimately is to be financially stable, not have to worry about, depending on anyone else. To me, this is sort of like a Nine of Pentacles energy. So I do feel that the feminines right now are taking a stand and, again, really being selfish with their time and energy. There's nothing really extra or left to spare. Feminine is making sure that every ounce of her energy and time and efforts are going into herself and her own interests. So, how she's viewing the masculine, the Hermit. So some of you could be dealing with a Virgo, but ultimately the Hermit is, a ghost, essentially, someone who doesn't communicate, someone who keeps to themselves. So, obviously the feminine is seeing the masculine, going through their enlightenment, focusing on themselves. And again, feminines are hanging up their hats. Like, there's really nothing left to do at this time, except focus on yourself. So seeing the masculine in hermit mode is basically inspiring the feminine to plant new seeds, okay? So the actions of the feminine, likely actions based on this energy in the month of June, Temperance. So yeah, trusting in the universe, trusting in the alchemy of everything working out, being patient, gaining balance, and knowing and trusting in divine timing, okay? So this could also, again, this is likely actions. So for some of you feminines, there could be a project or something that requires you to be patient, or something that's happening in your life that requires you to just chill, take a breather, and trust that everything is going to be okay, right? Sometimes, again, with this Ace of Pentacles, when it comes to our passion projects, sometimes it requires us to be patient and to wait, or to wait for results. For some of you might be waiting for results on something, or maybe you could just be waiting on going away. Again, everyone's specific circumstance is going to be different, but what is the feminine's ultimate desire here? Desired outcome. Queen of Wands. Yeah, so again, master manifestation energy. So feminine just desires to be thriving, to be rising. And I'm hearing, this girl is on fire. Like, that's the energy here. Feminine wants to be on fire. She wants to be manifesting and living her best life, okay? This could also be saying, some of you could want to lead as far as a project is concerned. Or again, this could just be you taking the lead, holding the torch, creating that magic to open the doors for something bigger and better to enter your life. So what is the challenge for the feminine? What is the challenge for the feminine in the month of June? Five of Cups. So the challenge is to release the sadness of the past, to let go of the things that didn't work out, and to remember that the things that didn't work out weren't meant for us, right? And to look forward to the future, to look forward to true partnership, true spiritual union. So for a lot of you, you're manifesting or praying or hoping that your masculine will come forward in some different energy, right? Come forward as a changed person, someone who knows, has learned their lessons, and so on and so forth. But ultimately, the challenge is to be able to let go of that, right? How can you have the door open for the future and welcoming in your highest good if you're still focused on the past? So again, everyone's circumstances are different, and it feels devastating when, someone turns their back on us, ghosts us, and all of those things. It is hard to let go of. For some of you, it could have taken a really long time. For some of you, you're still healing from this, and that's okay, because healing is not a linear journey. So, I myself have cycled through many phases back and forth and through in the last 3 years, and it's been a long time. But ultimately, what it has taught me is to do just this, is focus on myself and to release, to let go of the past, and to trust that what's meant for me will be for me, and that's that, right? So as we talk about perception, we also have the Hanged Muse, which is gaining a new perspective. And I think that that's the case for a lot of feminines, right? Gaining new perspective on life, becoming enlightened, going through the dark night of the soul, having to see things differently along your journey. And you can see here she's hanging on this rope. We've got the pyramids, the third eye, like, we've gone through this period, right? That was a challenge for us, was to enlighten and awaken and experience this connection while in separation. So ultimately, the desires of the feminine, or excuse me, the behind the scenes, I should say. So we have the 6 and the 7 of Pentacles. So yeah, like, basically, feminines are working diligently, being very patient, watering their garden, watering their seeds, putting in the work, and gaining balance in their lives. And regardless of whether the scales were balanced in the past is irrelevant now. What's going on is the feminine is creating that balance for herself. Reciprocity comes in her life because now there's a balanced energy within her. She's not giving more than she should give. She's not accepting less than she deserves. And therefore, the scales within her are becoming balanced. And again, this card of 7 of Materials to me is basically saying that Spirit is rewarding the feminine for all of the hard work that she's done, okay? Bottom of the deck, we have the Devil in the reverse. So feminine has also, again, dealt with toxicity, has dealt with the need to quiet the obsession over the masculine. And I feel like a lot of you that I've talked to recently have said, you haven't really been watching readings that often. You haven't really been focusing on the masculine, which is great. I mean, getting over that obsessive thinking or that attachment or that codependency is actually what's going to end up freeing your masculine from those sort of toxic dynamics as well. Okay, so as you heal from those dynamics, so too does your masculine. There's always a parallel or mirrored lesson happening at all times. So ultimately, I think with the 9 of Voices coming up underneath that, it's just simply saying, the feminines, you've spent a long time in the dark night of the soul. You've spent a long time, sleepless nights, overthinking to the point of like madness over this person, and it's gotten you nowhere except all trapped up in your head. Back to this devil energy, obsessing over something that's out of your control, right? So yeah, I think that this reading was very interesting. I'm going to get some cards from the Energy Oracle real quick and see what else Spirit wants us to know about the Divine Masculine's external situation. Goodness gracious. So 2nd chakra, Archangel Ariel, which is the sacral chakra. So also this has to do with shame, okay? So, the masculine has probably had to deal with the shame of, again, how they projected themselves to the feminine in the past. Some of them could have blocked sacral chakras right now. And again, these are the things that are coming up to the surface that need to be dealt with, that need to be uncovered. So next up we have rest and rejuvenation. So yeah, the masculine is in hermit mode right now, trying to rest, trying to figure out the answers here. I kind of feel like in this image, this is someone meditating, which again, hermit energy. 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. So third eye chakra once again, okay? They are meditating. They're opening their third eye. They're having an awakening, an epiphany, okay? They're experiencing psychic gifts. We have indecision. So, and then also adjacent possibilities. So I really do feel as if the masculines are trying to figure things out right now. They're at a little bit of a crossroads, and I think that they know at this point they don't want to go back to the road that they've already been on, because they already know what that road is like. I think they know that it's time for them to take a new path, but I think the indecision is around how to do it. How do they take this new path? What is the map? What is the roadway to that path? How do they get to your door? They have to strategize. They have to plan. They have to think about how this is going to work out. But ultimately, this adjacent possibilities card is telling me that, Spirit is providing your person with these ideas, with these epiphanies, showing them that with every closed door, there's always going to be another open one. There's always going to be an opportunity for them to take another path. So maybe there was a plan that this masculine had in place, and something happened that kind of threw a wrench in that plan, right? And for those of you who are kind of resonating with that storyline, think about like how many times you've felt or your masculine has told you that things were over with a karmic partner, or you felt like things were coming to an end, but then you run into them, or whatever your specific scenario is. This could be exactly the issue. Your person could have trouble figuring out how to open that window or open that door based on those sort of circumstances. So again, we go back to the whole concept of the distorted feminine energy that is in your masculine's life. This doesn't have to be a wife or a romantic partner. It could be a boss. It could be a mother. It could be anyone. Okay, so yeah, I do think that a big blockage for the masculines right now, my nose is tingling. I think a big blockage for the masculines right now is that they're ashamed of their actions. They know, like I said at the beginning, they know that they put themselves in this situation. They know that they put their feminines in this situation. And now that they're looking back on it, they're like, damn, like, how would I feel if someone did that to me? Would I be able to trust them? And I think that these same dynamics are starting to play out in their karmic situations, where they're basically getting a dose of their own medicine. They're getting treated by their karmic partners the same way that they treated their feminines, and they don't like the way that tastes, right? Because it's forcing them to realize, oh, damn, I did that. And I did it to someone who was genuine, who loved me, who cared about me. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I mean, it is. So I think there's a lot of shame around that. I think that the masculines, again, are meditating and possibly reaching out to spirit, praying, whatever their religion, denomination, whatever it is, whoever they talk to. Excuse me. My nose is tingling. Now I'm sneezing. My nose is running. So yeah, for those of you who are resonating with that, definitely, like I said, comment below. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to do so. Tap those bells and all the whistles and everything you'll need to be notified. So let's get some advice from Spirit before we get some messages from the Divine Masculine. What does Spirit want us to see for the advice for the month of June? Quite a bit popping out here. So we have liberation. Oh my gosh. So liberation, someone is freeing themselves. Liberation. Oh my gosh. Reminds me of the reading I did. Justice, vindication, someone's setting themselves free. We also have divine intelligence and balance. So, ultimately, I feel as if the advice here is for the feminines. Spirit is saying, continue to soar, feminine. Continue to free yourself from the shackles of the twin flame journey, right? Don't get stuck in a rut trying to manifest this person. Listen to your higher self, okay? Divine intelligence is saying, you already know the answers. You already know what's true deep within your soul. So there is no reason to chase, right? Spirit is saying now is the time to balance. Now is the time to truly step into your masculine and feminine energy and remember that you are whole and complete, like I said, and like I always say, with or without this person, okay? Your person is just the cherry on top of the sundae, all right? So again, I think the advice here is to just continue to focus on yourself, feminine, continue to free yourself from these sort of dynamics, and trust in the divine, trust in yourself, okay? Trust in the source, trust in love, and know that everything is going to balance itself out the way that it should, okay? Very interesting. Let's get some messages from Spirit and see what this divine masculine wants to communicate to you. We have light year. Time is flying by. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Like, y'all, we are in June. It is June. Like, I feel like 5 minutes ago we were just celebrating the new year. We also have, I almost said communication. That could be something big for someone. Illumination. I'm trying to see your point of view, which, y'all, we've been talking about that the entire reading. Singularity. We are one being and part of unity consciousness. So again, this getting on the same page, being of one mind. What else do we need to see here from the masculine? Wormhole. I will find a way back to you. Yeah, they're determined. And by the way, you guys, this awesome deck is by Four of Wands Tarot, which I will link her down below. She's awesome. All of her decks are awesome. I'll have to buy some more of them actually, because I love the two that I just got. So we have retrograde. You can never go backwards on your journey. And obviously, y'all, we are coming out of retrograde. We'll be in the shadow period for the first couple of weeks of June. But again, like I said, Saturn is going retrograde as well. So yeah, talking about responsibilities and karma and all that stuff, your masculine is basically saying that they are learning their lessons. They aren't going to cycle back again through the same BS. They're learning their lessons. We have resonance. I'm finally starting to get it. Yeah. Crescent moon. This is just a temporary phase. Right. Separation is temporary. Physical separation. What else do we have from the masculine? So we have a bunch popping out. I'm only going to take this one first, and then I'll reshuffle. Variation. I'm not the same person I used to be. Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely changing. They're starting to have these realizations about, again, how they've treated you in the past. And we have Aurora Borealis. I miss the warmth and light you radiate. So definitely missing you, feminine, in the month of June. They're starting to get on that same page, though, like we said. And I think ultimately the determination behind the statement of them finding a way back to you, like we saw them standing at that crossroads, they already know the path they need to take. They just have to take it, okay? and axis. Oh my gosh, I'm going to end it here, y'all. Separation is just an illusion. Okay, so hopefully this reading resonated with you guys. I know it was pretty long, but again, if you are a member of the Spicy Subscriber Society and you want an even more of an extended reading, then please click the link that will show up on the screen. It's probably already there. But anyways, you guys, like I said, please like the video, comment below if it resonated, and if you would like to purchase a private reading, again, all of my details are down in the description box. Other than that, you guys, I love you, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.